All set, thank you. Good evening, everybody, and welcome, and thank you for taking the time to tune in to our Select Board's meeting of October 2nd, 2023. I'd like to begin this meeting first by approving the signing of the warrant, and then after that, reviewing the minutes that we had from our last session, and then we'll cover any items on our new agenda. So I'd like to have a motion to excuse me, before I go on, too, we heard today that our former town clerk for many years, and also one of our elected assessors, Joe Arcudi Sr., passed away, and would like to have a moment of silence for him and to remember him in our prayers, okay? Thank you. Thank you, everybody, too. So anyway, thank you, Michael. So anyway, I'd like to entertain a motion to signing of the warrant.
I make a motion that we sign the warrant for September 11, 2023.
Thank you.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
And I make that unanimous. I'd like to have a motion to accept approve our minutes of September 11, 2023.
Make a motion that we approve the minutes of September 11, 2023, Mr. Chairman.
I would second that, Mr.
And I make that
Chairman.
unanimous. Thank you. Also, a motion to approve our minutes of our regular meeting of September 21st, 2023.
Make a motion we approve the minutes of September 21st, 2023.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
And I make that unanimous. Also, one more, our executive session minutes of September 26th, 2023.
Make a motion we approve the executive session minutes of September 26, 2023, Mr. Chairman.
I would second that, Mr. Chairman.
And I make that unanimous. Thank you very much. Our next item on the agenda is a public hearing. We're going to have a public hearing with Good Energy, who's our consultant for our municipal aggregation for electricity. What we did back the last town meeting is we approved the process to go forward with that. And what that is really is it's the grouping of not only an entire town, but we can do that with other towns when we group and we buy our electricity in bulk. And that could help us save some money, especially in today's day and age when electricity is very high for all of us. And it goes through different steps. Our first step was the approval at town meeting, which we did. The second step was that our consultant, which they developed an aggregation plan, which we have now, and we also had a public review and also a public hearing on it, which we hear tonight. So there's various steps that we have to take. So patience is a virtue, so eventually we will get to it, but right now we have to go through these steps that the regulations ask us to. So we do have representatives from our Good Energy company. So if you would like to take the floor, we welcome you and thank you very much for your attendance. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. I'm Rafida Rahman, and I work as the Sustainability and Engagement Strategist in Good Energy, and I'm here with my colleague Patrick Roche, who is the Director of Innovation at Good Energy. And before we start the public hearing, I'd like to give an overview about the plan and the updates that we have made. So I'd like to present, but if the host could kindly enable screen sharing, then I continue.
Okay.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Rafida.
All set.
Thank you. Please see my screen.
Okay, I got it.
Okay,
All set.
great.
And Chris.
So, like I said, I'm here to kind of give an updated overview about our aggregation plan for Milford. So I'd like to begin again as a refresher regarding how the process works. So, like we had already mentioned before, the National Grid, which is Milford's utility, will continue to be the point of contact for their delivery regarding their electricity in terms of maintaining wires and poles and response to outages. whereas we, as Good Energy, will work as a consultant to select a supplier for Milford to source electricity that's needed for the entire community. And both of this would not change the service quality. In fact, the only change that would happen would be seen in the price in the supplier section of your bill. So regarding what's already been done, so as you know, like the town meetings have voted to authorize aggregation, and the town partnered with us and made us their aggregation consultant. And in August 2023, the 1 month public review began, and today is the public hearing. And the aggregation plan was also made available in Milford's website, the milfordcommunityelectricity.com, and it has, and as a hard copy, it was also made available at the town administrator's office at Town Hall. Now, regarding the product offerings, the program offers 3 products. The first being the default product, which is known as the Milford Standard for automatic enrollment. And this offers a little extra renewable energy. And the goal of this program is that this product offers electricity that's not only cheaper, but also cleaner. Now, however, future savings is not something that's guaranteed because we don't really know what the utility rates are going to be in the future. And we also and the program also offers 2 extra products which are optional. One of them, which is the Milford Basic, that does not really offer any additional renewable energy, but only meets the minimum state standards, and the Milford Plus, which offers 100% renewable energy. Going forward, I'd like to talk something about our education and outreach plan for a launch. So before the program starts, at least 30 days prior to that, each customer is eligible for automatic enrollment with 2 pieces of mail. One is a postcard that kind of introduces the new town program and the date of the community meeting to learn more, and a letter that has all the program details and directions for how to opt out via phone, web, or any prepaid mailer. And before and after the mailings, we do a robust campaign of public presentations. We send out social media posts, flyers, press releases, video interviews, whatever is needed exactly. Kind of try to suit the municipality regarding what would be needed to spread awareness and provide opportunities for questions. Moving forward, so as you guys are aware, additional questions are still welcome even after today's public hearing. And the town will also do its DOER consultation meeting later this October, and we're also reviewing some guidelines AP is developing. And after getting those comments, we plan to present the final plan to the board for potential vote later this fall. And if approved, we plan to submit the plan to the DPU. So let's open the public hearing. So if anybody has any questions, we're welcome to answer. Thank you so much.
Any question from the public?
And repeat this, Patrick. You might have gotten cut off just for me, but I think you were saying that even though we're having a hearing today, people are welcome to continue to contribute comments.
Correct.
Sure. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, I said that.
She said it.
Great, okay.
I hope I didn't get cut.
Did everybody understand properly where we are now, how we're going to be moving forward? If not, any questions you can ask right now. Yes, Irene?
Has the town already agreed to go with this company?
Yes.
Okay, because my sister went with Constellation,
Yeah,
and she saves quite a bit.
right, right.
Instead of paying like .16078, she pays .10473.
Sure, that's what the program's all about, you're right.
Yeah.
And what they'll do too is they'll get prices from a variety of companies too, to see what, would be the lowest price for us.
Will these people investigate all the...
Yes, they do all from soup to nuts. They'll even do anything that the Department of Utilities would want, they would provide for them. That's why we have them with us.
Because
Irene, you're automatically in, but you have the right to opt out, and then if you feel that you're not getting a better rate, you can opt back in. So you control everything.
It's a win-win, really. There's no, and after you opt out, like Tom said, you could actually opt back in, opt out again, and opt back in again.
my
And
sister-
as Paul said, we're not looking at just what the value of this company in dealing with us. They have many of our neighboring communities, and we're trying to pull together with each and every one of them. Because you go from, 12,000 households, and now you're at 50,000, 60,000 plus businesses. So they've been working with our neighboring communities that they already have contracts with. And Milford is the sizable community of all of them. So for us to come in, it'll drive the rates one way or the other. Now, Constellation, that's who I have right now. If you find a better rate somewhere else, you opt out. You tell them, I'm going to stay, where I am. If they go up, you just opt back in.
I was just saying that she's very pleased with them. I mean, she's very pleased. There's no difference in the electricity.
There wouldn't be.
And she was
Yeah.
surprised Milford wasn't into it. Because we're such a, Mills is small compared to Milford.
Paul was surprised. He's the one that brought this forward. So Paul Mazzucchelli was the one that raised this with the community, with the board, to say, we ought to take a look at this because we have an opportunity here that you, the consumer, controls. You make your own decisions.
Right.
Can't
Michael?
get better than that.
Thank you, Paul. Rafi, because this is a public hearing, and I think it's very important to get clarity on, so everybody is in the program and has the responsibility to opt out of the program, correct?
I'll jump in. I see Rafita might have just gotten kicked out. So essentially, yes, you're correct. The only caveat I would say is that if you have your own supplier already, like the speaker mentioned there, Constellation, you would not be automatically enrolled, only if you have not chosen.
Right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am?
I have a question. Is it guaranteed pretty much that it's going to be a little less at least than what you're typically getting from National Grid, who we work with?
Yes, Patrick? Did you hear that?
I did, yes. Rafita, do you want to take that?
Yes. Is it guaranteed or close to being guaranteed that we're going to be paying a little less than we are now
With National Grid.
With National.
with National Grid?
Could you repeat the question? It got cut off a little bit.
So is it guaranteed that the rates would be lower than National Grid going forward?
No, I don't. Like I said, that as we are not really aware of what the future utility rates are going to be, we can't guarantee savings. So it can be the case that our rates are going to be lower at some point, but sometimes it can be higher as well. But what we do offer is that our rates are a lot more stable than the utility, because the prices that we offer stay the same for a much longer period of time in comparison to the utility rates that change every 6 months.
Oh.
So So that's something that kind of gives us a step ahead of the utility prices.
And one of the things that what Steve said is, when you choose to launch the program, it's totally up to you. So, you would have the ability to make sure that when you launch the program, you're launching at a price that's lower than the current utility price at that moment. So that is definitely within the power, because you'll know what the price is and what we're launching against. Then, as Peter said, you just can't perfectly predict the utility prices. So our track record has been one of generating savings for all of our clients over each of their contract terms. So like you stated, over the 1 year, 2 year contract, you will come out ahead, but we just can't perfectly predict it. But that, I think, is part of why the town, I think, chose us is partly because of our track record there. So that's certainly our goal.
Great, thank you.
What's the length of your rate lock-in?
We'll do, as part of the bid, we'll get pricing for everything, from a year to 3 years or even a little bit longer. And we'll work with town administrators to kind of make a recommendation about, well, based on what we know at that time about the market and where things are headed, what might be the best amount of time to lock in for. So in the last few years, a 3-year contract has been very popular. More recently, we've seen 2 years, just because there's been a lot more volatility.
Sure.
But I'd say we'll be getting pricing for a range of terms. And 2 or 3 years is probably what we can expect.
And that's the point towards your question. The reason I asked that is if you end up with a lower rate and you lock it in for a longer period of time, I just came off of 9 cents, 9.25 cents after 5 years. So, and I went up to 12. But so I think you have to really take a look at it and do that comparative, because the utility, as he said, DPU, they look at it every 6 months. And you've seen where National Grid, right? They went sky high, and then all of a sudden they came back down. And they're giving you relief. Well, they already took relief out of your pocketbook. So it's really a balance for you as the consumer to make sure that you take a good hard look at these numbers. But you can find some good rates. And as I said, you can stay with this, or you can move. And you can always move back if the rates are better.
If I may, Mr. Chairman, Patrick and Rafida, to be clear, let's make it clear, your job as our consultant, you're going to be watching the rates, correctly? So you'll be advising us, much like we do when I negotiate the town's electricity rate. They're watching it daily, and I will get a call at 2 to say, let's go at 4, otherwise tomorrow may not be better. So just to be clear, that's what these people are doing. They're going to be searching there for the best time, the best rate. So I just want to make that clear so everybody understands that.
Thank you, Ricky. Anybody else?
Can't hear him.
Yes. Patrick, I was going to ask you, too, where I guess after this public hearing, within 30 days, did I hear you're going to be submitting the proposal to the Department of Public Utilities? And what I was going to ask, too, because I'm sure everybody has that in their mind, too, approximately, I know you really can't go because we don't really know how long it's going to take for them to review our proposal and whatnot. So what do you think would be approximately, based on your experience in this business, when we will be starting? Let's say everything goes according to plan and everybody's happy. When do you think we'll be getting our, be able to participate in this program as a community?
I think going into next winter, having an active program would be not, I think that might be the right time to anticipate. I think that would be reasonable with this new DPU who wants to work faster. And like you said, can't totally control that. I think in terms of when we'll submit the DPU, so what Rafito was kind of mentioning is we've got two things to do. One is we have a consultation meeting with the Department of Energy Resources. And then also the DPU has opened up this regulatory process where they're doing some kind of general rulemaking about aggregation programs. And we don't think that necessarily needs to hold up your submittal, because I don't think it'll be done for a while. But we're taking a little time to make sure we fully understand what's in there. So I think what we plan to do is come back before you. It might be late October, maybe be really early November, with hey, we'll get the final plan. We honestly wouldn't really expect much in the way of changes. It's probably a little minor things, but come back to you about then, so we can probably submit in early November. I think that's probably what we would like to do.
Excellent, good, thank you.
Good.
Yeah, I do have a question, another question, I'm sorry. She had shown the standard, the plus or whatever, and then the basic. Is that a choice that we as the individual get to make, or is that a choice that the town makes?
You make it.
The individual.
Okay, good, thank you. So if you want to go with the full renewables,
Sure.
you're going to pay a
Totally up to you.
Right?
Right.
But if you want to go with the basic, you're going to pay
Right.
probably a lower rate.
It's your
Exactly.
choice.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Yes.
Anybody else? Yes, sir.
Yeah, so I have a net metering plan with, I think, National Grid, which is grandfathered at 100%. So what I'm concerned about is changing suppliers. Will that reset that agreement in any way? And, either, I think I read something that said that they would continue to allow net metering, but would the agreement potentially lose its grandfathered state?
Thank you for that. Do you got that, Patrick? Good.
Yeah, so one of the great things with these programs is that existing benefits, including net metering, but really any solar compensation program is not affected by this. So you will continue, so the speaker will continue to get compensated for your net metering production at the same rate you are today. This would only change the cost of any power that you pull from the grid.
And presumably the value that I get compensated back for the excess, I would think, they would go hand in hand. So if I produce excess, I would be getting paid back at the lower rate that I'm being charged.
Yeah, I would say so.
Well, I'm glad you dug into that, because that's actually kind of exactly what I wanted to highlight, is actually that when you're putting power on the grid, your excess, that will continue to be valued at the value it is today. And then when we pull from the grid, it would be at hopefully our lower cost. So technically, you might actually work out, you might come out a little bit ahead even more, because than you might today. But yeah, you actually, when you do produce excess and goes to the grid, it would be at the same rate that it is today. It wouldn't be changed whether you're in this program.
Very good. Good question. Anybody else? Good.
Anybody online, Chris?
Anybody online?
Nope, just the three of us, yeah.
Okay.
Really? Excellent. Thank you so much.
Just something to say.
I just had one.
Oh, go ahead. You got it, Patrick.
So I just want to let you know, and I think Rick may be aware that there's a legislative push right now. The aggregation statute hasn't been touched in about 20 years. And there's both a legislative push and there's kind of these DPU guidelines that are going on to effectively the goal of both of these things. They happen to be at the same time, but they're trying to effectively give municipalities a bit more flexibility to make decisions about their plans at the local level without needing to then also go and get in the line at DPU for approval. I mean, you still have to get your initial plan, of course, approved. But in the future, once you're up and running, would you have more flexibility to change your plan without having to go back to DPU every time? And I just want to highlight that there's both a letter and then there's these comments on the DPU guidelines. And I just wanted to kind of put that out there to the extent that if the board is interested, there's a few different things that perhaps Rick could sign Milford on if you're generally supportive of the spirit of what they're trying to do. So just wanted to highlight those sort of separate from the public hearing, but and I think that they would be kind of trying to support moving plans through faster and hopefully give you more flexibility in the future. So we actually do have there's a hearing coming up end of next week for State House, so there's some urgency to get a sign-on for this letter if you're interested. So I just wanted to bring that up and kind of put that out there, and it might be a takeaway as a follow-up.
Very good. Good information. Thank you, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick.
Any board member have any questions, concerns, or anything? Patrick or anybody? Any members of the audience? Really, thank you, Patrick, so much. And
Thank you.
really, thank you so much for coming to this public hearing. It means a lot to us. Thank you so much. I hope you got what you needed out of it, too.
Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you very much. We'll look forward to seeing for the final vote sometime soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Patrick and Rafi.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Okay, next on the agenda is the schedule appointments. We had a schedule appointment with the Vernon Grove Cemetery Commission, but I guess due to some posting delays, the meeting is going to be asked to be scheduled for October 16th,
Yeah,
Rick?
we'll repost, they will repost.
We'll repost that,
We'll
okay?
come
So
forward,
that's
yeah.
going to be reposted for our next meeting on October 16th. Next on the agenda is the Town Administrator's Report. Ricky?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Just 3 items tonight. We have received notice from the Department of Environmental Protection that Milford has been awarded a recycling dividends programs funds in the amount of $16,200 under the Sustainable Materials Recovery Program, and this can be used for various, Paul, as you know
Yep.
very well,
Yep.
recycling programs throughout
Sure,
town.
thank you.
Notice regarding the senior center. The senior center will be closed next week from October 10th through the 13th. We are having a new flooring installed throughout the building. Meals on Wheels, Shine, the retirement office will continue to be open. The transportation program will continue to operate as usual. Fitness classes, the gym, and those types of similar additional programs will be canceled for the week. Please check the town website and the senior center website for further updates, and you're more than welcome to call my office. It should take 4 days, we hope, and we're back up and running on the 16th. Finally, Fire Chief Mark Nelson wants to extend his thanks and appreciation to Lowe's Home Improvement. Again, they donated 2 pallets of bottled water. This water is used in the event of a public emergency and also by the firefighters when fighting fires in hot and humid conditions. And again, he wants to just thank the people at Lowe's for this kind of generous donation. That's all I have tonight, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Any questions for Town Administrator?
No, Mr. Chairman.
Spillane? No?
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rick.
Thank you, Rick.
Next on the agenda is old business. Anybody with any old business?
The only old business, Mr. Chairman, is we had discussed the police chief search committee, and I did not have the intention, I want people to know, to single out any individual in the community. Nevertheless, there were people that questioned whether or not you and the committee could accomplish what you set out to do in a timely fashion, which you did, and whether or not it would meet the basic integrity, honesty, fairness that we would expect in that committee. And I firmly believe that it did, as opposed to the prior committee. And that's what I was expressing. I wasn't singling out a particular individual, and I just want to make that clear because I didn't want that individual to take offense.
No, and I can see that, but I can also tell you that I thought it was a compliment when you were saying that to the committee, for what they accomplished in that period of time. That's how I interpret it. Thank you, Tom. Old business, Michael?
I do not have
No,
any, Mr.
I don't either. New business. We have Bill's Pizza, who seeks a transfer of common victualer's license to Sylvia Pereira de Sousa, doing business as Bill's Pizza. The property is located at 126 Main Street, and the new manager would be Adriana Pereira. And all paperwork is in order, and by checking the application, you see the building commissioner, it's zone CA, and it's allowable use. Type B use and occupancy is fine. Town planner, no, okay, no changes of actual use, no outstanding taxes by the tax collector. Town treasurer has no objections. Fire chief has no objections. Police chief has no objections. There is no criminal offenses, and also the Board of Health has no violations. Everything does seem to be in order, so I'll entertain a motion to seek a transfer of common victuals license to Sylvia Pereira de Sousa, doing business as Bill's Pizza.
Make a motion that we authorize the transfer of the license for Bill's Pizza as outlined in the application.
I would second that, Mr.
And I
Chairman.
make that unanimous. Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is the town administrator's approval for the town warrant, the town meeting warrant for October 30th, 2023, special town meeting. I just say we look at it, we approve it. Any questions we have, we can bring up at another meeting.
I have no questions at all. I
Okay.
would make a motion that we approve the warrant as presented by the town administrator
Okay.
for the special town meeting on October 30th, 2023.
Thank you.
I would second that, Mr.
And I make that
Chairman.
unanimous. Thanks very much. Next on the agenda is Police Chief regarding a stop sign on Cook Street. Everybody has their emails. I believe these emails started back in August of 31st of this year regarding overgrown vegetation that was obstructing views and whatnot. And then once that was cut down, some concerns were made of a stop sign, if it could be possible, to be put on Cook Street to more or less slow down any cars that seem to be speeding up as they go to that intersection. Did everybody have any questions regarding that?
I don't. I make a motion that we approve the recommendation of then Deputy Chief of Police, now Chief of Police, Robert Tassino, as it relates to the stop sign on Cook Street.
Before I second that, Mr. Chairman, if we could ask Police Chief Tassino to have somebody, I was down there the other day, and there's still vegetation on that fence, unless it's gone in the last couple of days.
Okay,
But there's still an obstruction there.
okay.
When you're turning left out of Cook left out of Plain onto Cook. So if they could just check it, but I'll second the motion.
Sure, okay, with the intention of getting that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
Rick,
make
we should
sure.
pass that on to Chucky Renault's the fence watcher, right?
He is, there might be a question of whose property
I
is
think
it.
that's private
It's on
property,
the
too.
wetland.
Yeah, that's private
Right.
property.
I think it may be on private property.
Yeah, so they'd have to.
I'm sure it is.
And I'm sure they would, if I reach out to the proper
Yeah,
party, I'm sure we can do that.
In the past, I know they've done it before, according to the emails here.
Right.
So a motion to approve the stop sign, then.
Yep.
Aye. That's unanimous. The next on the agenda is an email. No, it's a mutual aid agreement that we have for the towns of Milford, Medway, and Millis to provide assistance to each town's animal control officers. And our Animal Control Officer Keith Haynes is in support of this agreement, and our town council also reviewed this agreement as well. Again, mutual aid is very important, especially when various cities and towns, have that capability gap of providing a service or providing a response to an emergency where another town could help out as well. So that's what we're trying to do with this is, this is more or less like, but this makes it legal. This is like a legal game plan to that particular procedure. So,
It's the same as police and fire. you know,
exactly,
it's-
police, fire, health has the same thing when it comes to mutual aid.
You can't have the resources necessary to take care of every emergency. So I would recommend that we approve the mutual aid agreement concerning with the animal control, and that we authorize the chairman to sign the contract on behalf of the board.
Great. Michael?
Second that, Mr.
And I
Chairman.
make that unanimous. Thanks so much. Next on the agenda is the appointment of crossing guards. This is on our website, Rick, so should I read the names, or
No, you just
you know,
need to approve on the list. and-
if it's okay with my members, you see the list too, to approve who's ever on the list. If there's no questions or concerns, I'd entertain a motion to approve.
They've all served for many years.
Yes,
So
they
I
have,
make a
yeah.
motion that we approve the reappointment, which is pro forma, but required by law, of the listed crossing guards, the academic year 2023 to 2024.
Thank you.
I would second that, Mr.
I
Chairman.
make that unanimous. Thanks so much. Next on the agenda is an attached, is this application here for an all-alcoholic beverage license from St. Mary's Parish for a dinner in honor of Our Lady of St. Aprocedia, to be held at the Parish Center Hall, 17 Winter Street, on October 14th from 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. And like I said, it's going to be all alcohol, not just beer and wine. It's going to be sold. Father Joyce is the applicant. The date is going to be October 14th, and the time is 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. Anybody have any questions or concerns regarding this application?
I don't, Mr. Chairman, other than the hours, and it's very much like licensed premises in the community. I would change the times to 6:30 p.m., which allows them to set up, and then 12 a.m., which gives them 1 hour, meaning they can't serve during that hour. It's 1 hour for them to
Break down and
clear the
whatnot.
premises of people that are consuming alcohol.
Michael?
I agree, Mr.
You agree
Chairman.
with
I would
that?
second that.
Okay, from
I think
6:30?
Father Pete is a great bouncer, so I think
Yeah,
it'll
yeah,
work out
yeah,
well.
right, you don't want to offend him. Okay, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is Finance Committee resignation. Let me read this letter as well. This is to Al Correa and also Rick, our town administrator from Mitchell City. It is with an extreme heavy heart that I must resign my position on the Milford Finance Committee. This resignation is a condition of my employment in the municipal field in a neighboring community. However, I will continue to be involved in community efforts as a Milford resident and look forward to that work on various grants-funded projects at the town and as a town meeting member. Coming from a family that immigrated into Milford from Italy with nothing, and serving as a member of the Finance Committee was a position of great honor and distinction. I have nothing but faith in the current commission members and in our staff. I'm continuously impressed by Mr. Taylor's stewardship of all matters financial. A look at present health indicators for the town reveals a robust financial health, not seen in surrounding communities. I would also like to commend Al's continued leadership in the community, not just on our Finance Committee. He also been a tremendous asset to me for my continued professional growth. So thank you to Al. Lastly, I would like to strongly recommend, and strongly is in bold italicized letters, to commend the present Select Board. The leadership demonstrated on a multitude of issues over the past couple of years has been absolutely tremendous. As a constituent, I could not be happier with the direction of the town, the makeup of the town's employment pool, and the overall state of current affairs. I love this town and can't wait to continue to contribute, volunteer, and step up whatever necessary to help in any capacity that I can. Signed, Mitchell City. Very nice letter. That's why you wanted to read it in its entirety. Any comments or questions or concerns or?
He should not be commending us. We should be commending him.
Exactly. In bold italicized letters.
Big billboard bold.
Yeah.
You know, Mitch is one of those people that digs in, and he's really made a difference. We look at the grant we just received, over $1 million to work at Town Park, the basketball courts over at the youth center, and he, working with Rick Villani and Zach Taylor, the finance director, has really, really made a huge difference.
Sure has.
In bringing those projects forward. He's an incredible person as far as his willingness to jump in, feet first. I commend him. He should not be commending us. And I thank him. He is now serving as the town administrator in Hopedale, and is doing a wonderful job there as well. And they can't say enough good things about him. I have the utmost respect for him, and I think he should continue on with his bright future, and someday we'll see him again.
I sure will. Michael?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Yeah, I echo Selectman O'Loughlin's comments. I first came into contact with Mitch when I was on the board of the youth center, and he was instrumental in writing grants for the Milford Youth Center. And he opened, the eyes in the community, because it's really, it's a very special expertise, and he's very, very good at it. And as we all know, having served on different boards in the community, sometimes we put people in the position to write grants that take the responsibility on to help, but really don't have the greatest amount of knowledge to do it. And that is Mitch's background. And again, to echo what Selectman O'Loughlin said, the last is the grant that we just got for Town Park. He was instrumental in helping that. So he's going to be, as we have said many times on this board, sadly missed. But I want to reach out to him and say thank you very much, Mitch, and I as well hope to see you in the future.
Not to be redundant, but both what you and Tom said, I second and third it. Anyway, we're going to miss him, but like he did say, he'll continue to contribute, whether it's volunteer or in any other way. Thank you so much.
We'll miss him until tomorrow. We'll tap him again.
Next on the agenda is a resignation from the Milford Youth Commission. And there was a letter to Brendan Rickert, who is the chairman of that committee, and it's from a Stephen Sousa. It is with regret that I am writing to inform you of my decision to resign as a board member of the Milford Youth Center effectively immediately. I must say it has been a privilege working alongside everyone. The commitment and passion of everyone involved is second to none. I leave knowing that the board is in great hands and that the Milford Youth Center will continue to flourish with Jen Ward as the director. My other commitments have become too great for me to be able to fulfill the requirements of my position on the board, and I feel that it is best for me to make room for someone with the time and energy to devote to the job. It has been a pleasure being part of the Milford Youth Center, and I am so proud of all that we have accomplished in the past 4 years. And I have no doubt the board will continue these successes in the future. Thank you to everyone for allowing me to be part of this great experience. Best regards, Stephen Sousa. And a thank you to Steve Sousa as well for your 4 years as well.
Thank you very much.
Anybody else?
Steve also serves as a police sergeant in the Milford Police Department, and was very interested in the youth center and youth in the community as well. During those 4 years, he also suffered a very severe head injury when an individual crashed into the side of his police car. And even during that time, he stayed in touch with the board at the youth center and was involved in, kind of helping them through decisions because of his knowledge of the youth center. So I commend Steve. He's an awesome young guy, and as I said, he serves this community full-time and tries to make a difference in people's lives. He's very, very much interested in young people, and kids at the junior high level, the high school level. So just a good, solid kid and a good police officer, but a very, very nice family. So I want to thank him for his service.
Yep, very well. Michael?
Just, Rick, if, of course, make sure we get the letter.
We always do.
Always do.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. So all in favor of accepting the resignation?
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda, invitation to speak. Anybody on? No? Okay. Next is correspondence. I have some correspondence that I got throughout the past week as well, and I'm very proud to read it as well. There was an incident, I think it was last Sunday, when an escaped prisoner from Marlboro ended up in Milford, and our police force very quickly apprehended him and saved a lot of aggravation for the Marlboro Police Station. So anyway, this was a letter from Sergeant Kevin O'Laughlin to Chief Robert Tazzino. On Sunday, September 24th, 2023, at approximately 1600 hours, Deputy Chief Carlos Souza and I formulated an arrest team consisting of the Milford Police Patrol Division, Milford Police Detective Bureau, Milford Police Special Operations Unit, and the Milford Police Canine Division. Our goal was to locate and arrest an escaped fugitive, Isaac Rivera, who escaped police custody in the city of Marlboro. Isaac was arrested by Marlboro Police Department following a domestic violence arrest involving a firearm. Isaac was charged with 23 crimes in the city of Marlboro, including A and B, and times 2. What does that mean, A and B times 2?
Assault and battery.
2 times.
Two victims.
Okay. Domestic assault and battery, strangulation, assault and battery on a police officer, assault with a dangerous weapon, assault with vandalization of property, intimidation of witnesses, resisting arrest, disorderly conduct, possession of distributing of Class D substances, possession of Class B substance, possession of Class E drug, possesses large capacity firearms, firearm violation, and 1 prior violent crime, threat to commit crime and escape from police officer. I'm getting thirsty just talking over all those crimes. Anyway, Isaac was ultimately located at 36 West Fountain Street, and the arrest team utilized tools such as a ballistic shield and canine to take Isaac into custody without incident. I am writing this commendation for Officers Wade, Canine Officer Motusis, Officer Levine, and Detective Crossan for their dedication and professionalism during a high-risk arrest of a violent fugitive. I would also like to commend Dispatcher Cavino for his hard work, working and assisting us in the investigation and ultimately the location of the suspect. Anyway, I thought that was fantastic, but to follow that up, Sergeant O'Laughlin also received an email from Daniel Campbell, who is the day shift watch commander. And he wrote, Dear Sergeant O'Laughlin, I wanted to take a minute to formally thank you and the Milford Police Department for your help with locating a prisoner, Isaac Rivera, that escaped our custody while receiving treatment at Marlboro Hospital. You were more than proactive with tracking down potential leads and addresses where Mr. Rivera could be staying, and forming a rapid response team to safely apprehend Isaac Rivera in your community. You helped mitigate a situation that was a stain on our department and something we can hopefully use as a training tool moving forward. I spoke with my chief, and he wanted to extend the same gratitude. If there is anything I can ever do for you or the Milford Police Department, please don't hesitate to reach out. Again, a perfect example of one municipality helping out another municipality in prohibiting and stopping a dangerous, potentially dangerous type of a situation. Anyway, I thought that was excellent. Another email that I got too, and I'm sure you all got it too, was the possible merger of Milford Hospital with the UMass Memorial Health.
Right.
Again, that's, it come out, they signed a potential agreement. Nothing is bounding. It's a non-binding letter. And again, with the current healthcare landscape, it's increasing the challenges of local hospitals staying open on an individual basis. And this would more or less help, Milford Hospital stay active. It would help UMass Memorial stay active. Again, you get the high costs of medicines in medical care. Labor problems are very prevalent in industries, more importantly, the healthcare. They're also facing the lasting impacts that we had with the pandemic. And even before the pandemic, they weren't really doing that well. But now that even, they're trying to, get out of that rut as well. And Milford Hospital has been providing quality care for us for the last 120 years. And I'm sure they wouldn't, they wouldn't let their community down or the surrounding communities down. It could probably even broaden our range of healthcare services as well. So let's see what happens, and we'll keep you informed as we go on with that.
On that point, the emphasis there in the agreement is that UMass is agreeing that Milford Hospital will be the primary server of medical care for the town of Milford and the surrounding communities that presently utilize Milford Hospital. So that's what jumped out at me in the agreement, that it's not UMass is going to dictate that, oh no, everything has to go up through Worcester, which is, frankly, unless you need that level of medical care, could be inconvenient. And to give them their due, you look at the other hospitals that emerged with them, Marlborough being one, Haywood, there's a number of hospitals.
Yeah, it's all they're all emerging.
Just what they're looking at, and, UMass has kept their word. Those local community hospitals are going to be the primary intake, they're going to be the primary caretaker, and only if people need some advanced care, unless they elect themselves to go to Worcester or one of the other facilities.
I'm glad you brought that up, Tom.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I spoke to Ed Kelly, the president of the hospital, and for clarification, this is something that isn't going to happen tomorrow. This is going to take some time to put together. It could be, believe it or not, it could be as much as 2 years to put this together.
Yeah.
The ultimate goal, though, for the community is to enhance the services of the hospital,
Right.
not to decrease the services of the hospital. And that's ultimately what their goal is that they are looking to expand, they're looking to increase their services and make the services that they're currently providing even better than they are right now.
And it's in a service that they don't provide, they'll be able to provide now.
Right.
So that's it works so.
Unfortunately, we all know in the medical field can be some negativity, but this has been designed to enhance what's going on at Milford Hospital.
Right.
And this is a hospital that's done that. I mean, Dana-Farber, you don't find Dana-Farber facilities in every community.
Not at all.
At every
Right, yeah.
community hospital. So they've always looked to doing the best they can to bring the best resources here, and they do have land where they were going to build facilities, and it really comes down to dollars and cents. So this might work. I think it's a waiting see, but I know a surgeon at Haywood Hospital, and he's the only orthopedic that does this type of surgery in this whole county, other than the city of Boston. And he said nothing changed when Haywood joined with UMass in the same type of agreement. I think that, as you said, Michael, that this is a point of how do you provide the best services, survival for the people of this community and the neighboring communities, because, I don't know if people realize, they're coming from Blackstone, Uxbridge, and further out. We get patients that come to this hospital from literally 25 different communities.
The other direction, now that Norwood is closed, they're pulling Medfield,
Yeah, absolutely.
Millis.
Well, then they head this way, and we're fortunate. I mean, if you end up having to go to the hospital, it's a couple minutes away. There are people that are 20, 25 minutes, if not more, away. So my view, I think they're headed in the right direction. If you look at the landscape of healthcare, we're merging, in the city of Boston, they're breaking away from
Breaking
each
away.
other.
True.
So,
Let's see what happens, right? Anyway, one more other thing, too. The task force has been meeting, every so often. We just met a couple of, just last week. We're still meeting. We've been very busy. We're more or less answering complaints and concerns regarding various neighborhoods, and just assure it's, the Board of Health, Building, Zoning, Police, and Fire, along with Rick and our town councils, we're working together and to making sure that the quality of life of residents in their neighborhoods are kept up, and we're working very hard on that as well. Now, one other thing, too, Chief Falvey retired on September 30th. The three of us were there at the first retirement party, which was Friday, the 30th, the 29th. And then we also had a celebration for him Sunday on the 1st of October. And again, he's did a great job. We're going to miss him, and good luck to him in his retirement, and him and his family as well.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. Other than that, we have, that was correspondence. So right now, we're going to is I'll entertain a motion to enter into executive session. And the reason why we're going to enter into executive session was to meet with Attorney Jerry Moody, who will be here to update us on the eminent domain litigation cases scheduled for trial in Worcester Superior Court, and also our town counsel, Brian Murray, to update the board on cases scheduled for trial at Worcester Superior Court. Do I have a motion to enter into executive session?
I make a motion that we enter an executive session to meet with Attorney Gerald Moody concerning eminent domain litigation that is pending, as well as town counsel Brian Murray concerning pending litigation in the Superior Court. Mr. Chairman, upon the completion of that executive session, we will adjourn and will not be coming back into regular
Absolutely,
session.
right, we will not. So do I have a motion from Tom?
I would second that,
Second.
Mr. Chairman.
Roll call?
Aye.
Aye.
And aye. So to a roll call vote, it was unanimous that we enter into executive session. And like Tom said, we will not be entering, we will not be coming back to our regular session. And again, we're entering into this executive session because an open meeting may compromise our position for the town of Milford.
Good night
Thank you so
now,
much.
everybody. Thank you.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you very much.